You know, I was just thinking to myself, guys, um, one thing about me, guys, I always knew that I was destined to lose. How many of you guys knew that you was destined to lose? You know, from the time you was an adolescent, from the time you started liking females, see, the beautiful thing about my situation, and I always give props to my father. My father, he told me that women wasn't gonna find me attractive. But you know what? I believe deep down my father, he knows that he ain't nothing special to women. I believe my father really feels that way about himself deep down. Because usually when parents tell their kids things, they telling their kids things based on their experiences and things that they've been through. So I know that my father, he don't feel that, he's nothing special to women. Because usually parents they tell their kids things based on their experiences. But how many of you guys knew from the time you were young that you was destined to lose? Because I think that one of the great things about my situation, at least I had someone tell me when I was a teenager that I was destined to lose. I know a lot of you guys. I've been looking at the comments. I know a lot of you guys knew from the time you were an adolescent that you were destined to lose. A lot of you guys knew that things would never look up for you because when you're an adolescent, those years are gonna let you know how your adult life is gonna play out. And you know, I think that's one of the reasons to why a lot of us uh, can still cope and live life because a lot of us knew from the time we were young that we were destined to lose. I knew I was destined to lose from a young age. You know, and I always tell myself, at least I had someone, tell me, that I was destined to lose from a young age because, you have a lot of parents, they don't like to be honest with their children. A lot of parents love to tell lies to their children, especially mothers. But it's a good thing that I had someone that was very transparent with me early on in life. And this is a big reason to why a lot of us are still coping and still here because a lot of us knew that we were destined to lose. Some of us were even fortunate enough to have someone in our life, to tell us that we were going to lose from a young age. See, it's a great thing when you got someone letting you know what the future has in store for you, that you're not going to be a desirable man. You're not going to be a hit when it comes to the women. You know, it's good when you have someone to inform you, how your life is going to play out. So when your life ends up being a disaster, it's not a surprise to you. Um, it's unfortunate that we had to be in this position, but it's always good when you have someone to forewarn you to let you know that you're destined to lose. Um, no one wants to lose. Like I always say, nobody wants to lose, but it's all about them cards you've been dealt. And I'm glad to know that I'm not the only person who knew from a young age that they were destined to lose. I'm so glad that I'm not the only person who knew this because I know it's a lot of guys who knew from the time they were young that when it come to females, they were just destined to crash and burn. And it's unfortunate, you know. This is a situation that it's a very debilitating situation. It's a very sad situation. It's a situation that you can't even talk to people about. I mean, just imagine getting around certain people and telling them that you never been desirable, never been wanted, you've been treated bad all your life. Just imagine getting around some people and telling them about your circumstances. as a man, if you get around some people telling them that you never been a desirable man, they not gonna feel sorry for you. If anything, they gonna attack you. That just go to show you that as a man, you don't get sympathy from nobody. You can't even tell people about your situation. But I truly feel like at a certain age, you just have to be honest about things, and you can't even lie no more about certain things at a certain age. Like, if you a 30-some-year-old man and you happen to kick it with a woman and she asks you, so how come you're not married, or how come you don't have children? I already know what I'm going to tell a woman. I never been wanted by nobody. See, at a certain age, you just got to be transparent about this stuff. Like, you can't even lie at a certain age about certain things. You just got to be honest. You got to be direct. And you just got to tell people what the deal is, because women can tell guys who get pussy, and they can tell dudes who don't get pussy. So what I had to understand is that you might as well just go ahead and be transparent and just tell them the truth, because they already know anyway. You know, that's what I had to learn. And it is what it is. At a certain age, like my father always said, your age will start to tell on you. And at a certain age, yeah, your age will tell on you. And at a certain age, you just got to be honest about certain things. Um, at the end of the day, it is what it is. What's going to be is what's going to be. Certain things you're not going to be able to change. And that's just the way that it is. The beautiful thing about this circumstance is that a lot of us knew from the time we were young that we were destined to lose. A lot of us knew from the time we were adolescents that we weren't desirable guys, that we wasn't the dudes that women wanted to throw the pussy at. That's the blessing in this situation, is that a lot of us knew from the time we were young that we were destined to lose. And that's the beautiful thing about it all. When you knew from the time you were an adolescent that you were destined to crash and burn. That's the beauty in all of it. Because I'm seeing the comments, a lot of guys knew from the time they were young that they were destined to lose. They knew that the future didn't have much brightness in it for them. And that's the beautiful thing about it all. One thing I've noticed too about a lot of dudes that's in these types of positions, you got some dudes who will try to pretend like they not bad off, but they really are bad off. You got some dudes, they'll try to make it seem like you're in a worse position than they're in, but really, the position that they're in no better of a position than you. They in the same worse position that you in, but they trying to deflect and make it seem like, their circumstances is not as bad as yours. But it is. They just can't man up to be real with themselves because they're a coward. But, I noticed that with a lot of guys in these positions. They'll try to make it seem like their circumstance is not as bad when really it is. Really, their circumstance might be even worse than yours. But they just don't want to be real with themselves. But it's sad having to admit to yourself that you knew from the time you were an adolescent that you were destined to lose. Isn't that debilitating to know? From the time you were a teenager, you knew that things wasn't going to look up for you, that it wasn't going to be good for you. It's sad. It's sad when you got dudes who knew from the time they were young that things would never look up for them. But unfortunately, that's just the way things turned out for some people. It's unfortunate, like circumstances like this, no one asked for these types of positions. You know, no one asked to be in these types of positions. It's just that bad luck really fell on some people, you know? No one asked to be a man who's not sought after. No one asked to be a man who's not desired. But it's all about the cards you've been dealt. It's all about that hand. I always talk about the cards you've been dealt because it's real. This game of life is no joke. Some people were dealt all the right cards in life. That's why they can win in life. And you know what? Some people were dealt all the wrong cards in life, and that's why they continue to lose. You know, everybody is not built for this thing called life. A lot of people a lot of people who catch a lot of L's in life, a lot of people who endure a lot of turmoil and pain in life, these types of people are not built for the world. Everybody not built for this thing called life. You know, and you got a lot of people in this world who should have never been here. They would have been better off never being here. And that's just the truth. I mean, some people in life were just destined to fail from day one. They were destined to live a bad life. And when you can confidently say that you knew that you were destined to lose far as women is concerned, that'll give you all the peace in the world. When you can confidently say, I knew from the time I was young that I wasn't going to be a hit with the ladies. That's how you can confidently say you were destined to lose. So if you know you were destined to lose, put a champagne glass in the comments of this video. Because I know it's a lot of guys that knew they were destined to lose. And it's sad having to say that, when you can confidently say that you knew from the time you were an adolescent that you were destined to lose, it's safe to say you should have never been born. You did not need to be here. If you can confidently say that you knew from the time you were an adolescent that you would never be a success when it come to women, or that you knew that females wasn't attracted to you, you should have never been born. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. You guys have a good night. Talk to you soon.